Now this stepmother and the bio dad has to sit there on a Zoom and see this Judge Natalia Cornelio, let a confessed, admitted killer who has pled guilty walk out to get a haircut?
You know, Nancy, it's kind of like they got sucker punched by the criminal justice system. So the reality is that the suspect was originally held on a $200,000 bond. That bond was reduced by the judge, cut in half. That allowed him to get out on bond. He violated his bond conditions several times on curfew. He goes before the judge, pleads guilty to murder. So it's not like, well, he's just charged, he's just a suspect. No, he is now a convicted murderer. Evidently, the judge became, from what I've been told, very upset because she was left alone in the courtroom with a now convicted murderer, and essentially told her bailiffs, don't leave me in this courtroom alone with this murderer. The murderer is actually allowed to remain on bond pending sentencing. And one of the bond conditions, and Randy and I have looked through numerous conditions of bond throughout our years of doing our Breaking Bond story, but I've never ever seen anything in writing that specifically says you're allowed to go to a certain barber shop after docket. But you can't go anywhere else, but you can go and get your hair cut. That was a first. So he's actually due back in court, I believe, at the end of the week. Whether or not they're going to sentence him or not, who knows? But it's problematic because you have somebody now walking amongst us in the community who's a convicted murderer that is facing a lengthy prison sentence. And let me tell you, in Harris County, in the last few weeks, we've been dealing with defendants who've been convicted and have been allowed to remain out on bond or have skipped their jury trial that have gotten into shootouts with law enforcement. So this is not a very good public safety scenario, but for the victim's family, it's absolutely gut-wrenching when you find out the person who murdered your loved ones is still walking amongst us and can basically do whatever they please.